to bleed down.
Okay.
Right, so return, supply.
Gotcha.
So those ones measure the booster pump, those gauges measure the booster pump, and then you always have to have a bypass on your triplex.
Okay.
So that's what this line is about. So we can return, cycle, do whatever, right?
Okay.
So you'll see the bleed backs there.
Right.
That's how, like, if you overpressure, you got trapped, you just open the little bleed valve and then it comes direct through this line.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you go to the, so we have the booster pump. These are the charge pumps.
Okay. So that's 100 psi boost.
Typically these ones run about 80 after you boost it.
Okay.
So you'll have the trash pump coming in, and then you boost it to about 80 psi on these guys,
Okay.
and then filtered down to whatever.
These are filters for your.
These are filters so that you're not buggering up your triplex pumps, right?
Right.
You catch all the sand and stuff. So you come through the filters and then back into the manifold again, right? So same as before. You can go to return, you can go to the pumps, you can go to the heater.
Okay.
Wherever you need to be, that's on this manifold.
Okay.
Because the heater that we use is zero pressure. So that's why this one, we have to be extremely careful.
Okay.
Zero pressure boiler.
Okay.
Can't have any pressure. So it goes, the boiler feeds in with 1 inch and out with 2 inch so that there's no way we can overpressure it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, and then the manifold. So same as before, right? Everything is color coded. So that's how we tell which filter we're running.
Oh,
off of,
I see.
right?
Okay.
That's why there's yellow, green, and then we marked all the lines so you can tell which filter you're running off of, because we don't typically run all 4 filters. We run the filters we need, and then as they plug off, we can change to a new filter pod.
Yeah, on the fly.
And then off we go.
Which doesn't interrupt production.
That's right. Yeah. And then the chemical pots. So this is where we inject their friction reducer. What was that other stuff? That
Solid
emulsifier.
suspension.
It was awful crap.
Yeah.
So we figure out the stroke count on the pump. We fill these to 40 liters.
Okay.
And then we figure out the injection on the low pressure side by setting the stroke on the diaphragm pumps. We've got 2 diaphragm pumps in here. And then back through another manifold, of course, right? So that we can figure out, we can set this stroke to match that stroke, and then we're injecting, so it'll work out to 1 liter in a cube of fluid. That's how we
Okay.
figure that out.
Okay.
And then from there, it goes into the high pressure pumps. Everything goes back to the high pressure pumps through here, through the flow meters. So
Right.
on the flow meter here, we can tell exactly how much we're within a liter, usually within a liter a minute.
Okay.
So we can tell exactly where we're at.
And this is your heater back
This
here.
is, it's a zero pressure boiler is
Okay.
actually what it is. The controls are here, and typically you can boot the temperature of the water on the fly. At 100 liters a minute, you can boot it 20 degrees.
Okay. 20 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
For our Yankee friends.
Yeah. And then that's just the generator that runs all the power for in the trailer.
Okay.
20
Gotcha.
kilowatts.
And then 2 Cummins. What did you?
5.9 liter Cummins.
Okay.
2 of them off the transmission. So we select a gear, and then we've got the chart in the office that tells us at this gear, at this RPM, we're doing this much fluid.
Okay.
So then we check that against the flow meters to make sure everything's the same, and then off you go.
And then off into this pump.
And then off into this pump, and then it goes back out the high pressure side. So this is the high pressure side here. This is the showstopper, the pressure valve.
Okay.
We set this one at the highest pressure we would run the job, maybe 1 or 2 MPa above the highest pressure is what we set this one at. So if we're
Okay.
running 38 MPa, we'll set this for 40. And then it goes through on the low pressure side here, through the accumulator, right? Through the low pressure side, back out, and then to the high pressure.
Okay. And this is pump motor, transmission, and pump number 2.
Yeah, same setup.
Same setup. Okay. Accumulator over here. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, just because we ran out of room.
All right.
It's a little compact.
And it's all encased and climatically controlled. And this is all the. Oh shit! This is the
That's our
controls,
control
motor
panel.
controls.
So this is where so there's the chart we use, right? We figured out, tested everything,
Right.
figured out where we need to run, and then we can check it against the flow meter.
Okay.
So then now it's electronically controlled, so you can set the pressure valve at 40. But say we're only running, we want to fill coil and we don't want to go above 14 MPa. We set this one to 14, and then it just shuts everything off.
Okay.
Same with the low pressure side, right? Normally, typically we set it at 0.4, and then anything below that, it just shuts the pump off, so you don't bugger nothing up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's the gauge off the engine, so that's what we read to check against this chart.
Okay.
You're on that MPA.
And it's duplicated over here. Or?
Then this is the ones from the flow meters in the back, the ones I showed you, the blue ones. That reads out here. And then we have an air pressure gauge and a boiler kick out, because it can't see any pressure. So if the boiler kick out goes off, it shuts off the whole trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And